Adler in Action: How to Apply Individual Psychology at Work, in Relationships, and in Learning. Welcome back. So you've returned. Today is the day of the test, the final moment where all the theory you've so eagerly absorbed from the previous videos meets real life. We learned about the inferiority complex, about your private life script, about all that empathy stuff. It all sounds great, doesn't it? Comfortable when you're sitting with a cup of tea or watching on your commute, listening to psychological concepts. But I have a fundamental question for you. What are you going to do with it? Will this knowledge remain just another video in your viewing history, right next to cats playing the piano? Or will this be the first day your life actually starts to change? I'm sure you watched tons of self-help videos, but how much of it have you actually applied? You watch, you nod your head, and then you go back to your old habits, your old excuses, and that comfortable, familiar fear. Today the lectures end. Today we start acting. What if I told you that the secret to a more successful career, a happier relationship, and more effective learning isn't in another productivity book or expensive course, but in ideas that Adler formulated over 100 years ago? And what's more, that they are ridiculously simple. And you just aren't using them. Get ready for this video to be a little uncomfortable. I'm going to show you your own hypocrisy, your classic excuses, and your quiet sabotage. I'll do it with a bit of a mischievous streak, but in reality with care, because, let's face it, you need a little push. By the end of this video, you will have 3 concrete Adlerian tools that you can start using today. I want to force you to reflect. I want you to stop just listening and finally start doing. Because otherwise, what's the point of watching it all? Part 1. At Work, from Inferiority to Initiative. Let's start with the place where most of you spend half your life. At work. A place where hustle culture mixes with frustration and fake smiles. You probably know the scenario. A young employee sits in a meeting with a brilliant idea. But what do? They stay silent. Because what if the idea is stupid? What if it turns out they have no idea what they're doing? Or what if the boss asks for details and they get flustered? This isn't a lack of competence. This is a classic inferiority complex in action. That little voice in your head that says, "You're a fraud and everyone's about to find out." As if you're the only person in the world who feels that way. Seriously? We're all pretending. We all feel like we're one step away from being exposed. This is your enemy, not your boss, not your colleagues. And Adler said you can defeat it. Tool number 1, the active exercise. You want people to listen when you speak in a meeting? Stop trying to sound confident. That's your mistake right there. You're a terrible actor because you put all your energy into hiding your fear. Instead, just be confident for 10 seconds. Take a deep breath. Straighten up. Sit as if you are the most confident person in the room. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to fool anyone. Just fake it until you make it. Remember, faking it long enough has a way of becoming the truth. Tool number 2, encouragement over criticism. You're probably a manager, or you aspire to be one, or you're just a colleague. How often do you say, "Good job"? It's a phrase so empty it's become a punctuation mark. Nobody cares and nobody feels appreciated. Time for a radical change. Instead of general praise, start encouraging. Say, Anna, I notice how much effort you put into that presentation. It shows in the numbers you provided. Instead of good job, Anna, Adler would say that praise builds dependence. Praise me and I will act. Encouragement builds courage. Your effort is impressive. You have the strength to keep going. This is a fundamental shift. Stop reinforcing a sense of guilt and start reinforcing effort. Tool number 3, cultivating social interest in the office. I know, this sounds like something from a hippie commune. Social interest in a place where people compete for promotions. But think about it this way. Fulfilling the need for belonging is the most important human goal. And that's why, when people feel appreciated and part of a team, they work better and are more productive. Try this. Start a team meeting with the question, how can I help you this week? Instead of the standard, all right, let's get started. This simple question shifts the focus from competition to cooperation. Is it trivial? Maybe, but try it and you'll see that it works. Because in the end, we're all in the same boat. And that boat goes a lot faster when everyone is pushing in the same direction. Part 2, in relationships, building connection and purpose. Now for relationships. Oh, this is where the real action happens. How many times have you repeated your private script in your head? For example, I am only loved if I am perfect. Or if I don't control things, others will hurt me. Your private logic, those unconscious decisions from childhood, are like time bombs in your relationships. Except you're the one planting them. Tool number 4, flip the empathy switch. You think you're a good listener? Nonsense. You're probably just waiting for the other person to finish talking so you can give your version of events. And then you pretend to listen because, well, you have to get along. Time for a radical trick. When your partner is talking, flip the empathy switch. Listen truly, and then repeat what you heard. I hear you saying that you feel ignored when I'm on the phone during dinner. It might sound like dialogue from a bad movie, but let's be honest, your current strategy isn't working. What does work is the fact that your partner will finally feel heard and understood. Tool number 5, share goals, smart style. We'll spend more time together. Set every couple ever, right before they both turn on Netflix and stare at the screen. I guarantee you that plan doesn't work. It's time for an approach that Adler would call a shared goal. You heard about this in the last video, right? This time it's for your relationship. Establish a shared, specific goal. For example, this week we're going for a walk in the woods on Thursday at 6 p.m. Or we're setting a fun budget of 50 PLN for this week, and we'll spend it on ice cream we'll eat in the park on Saturday at 4 p.m. Is it trivial? Yes, but this triviality creates new habits and strengthens the feeling of being a team. Tool number 6, encouragement rituals. All right, this ritual sounds like something from a rom-com, but believe me, it works. Every day before you go to sleep, say to each other, I appreciate you for, and finish the sentence. Or simply say, thank you for being you, and look at each other when you say it. This creates a strong bond. It's not about just saying, I love you, but about strengthening each other in everyday struggles. That is the true Adlerian sense of intimacy. Part 3. In Education, Empowering Learners. Let's move on to education. This doesn't just apply to students and teachers. It applies to anyone who wants to learn something new, playing guitar, learning to code, or a new language. You know this excuse, I'm just not good at math. This is a classic inferiority script. It's not a lack of talent. It is purposefulness in action, the purpose of avoiding failure, hidden behind the mask of a lack of ability. Tool number 7, growth-oriented lifestyle work. Do you remember your first failure? When you decided that you're no good at this? It's time to change that. If you're a teacher, do this in classroom. Ask students to write down one early memory about themselves and try to rewrite it together. For example, instead of a memory of falling and no one picking me up, which should create the conclusion, I must only rely on myself. We rewrite it as a memory of learning to get back up after falling. Tool number 8, cooperative learning teams. Stop competing, because in the real world you'll have to work on a team anyway. Structure tasks so that every team member is needed. The teacher's role here is a facilitator and encourager, not just an evaluator. Always find something to praise someone for, not just for passing. Tool number 9, encouragement corners. I know, it sounds like something from kindergarten, but believe me, it works. If you're a teacher, put this on a wall in your classroom. If you're learning on your own, do it in your room. Create a place where people can write notes with messages like, I saw you try to solve that problem, and it was impressive. This builds a sense of worth without the need for comparison to others. Conclusion. I know that some of these ideas sound strange, simple, maybe even naive. But honestly, your old, complicated, and useless habits are the real problem. The world isn't complicated. It's your private logic, your old script, that makes everything difficult. Adlerian psychology isn't another lecture. It is a practical guide that says, stop talking, start doing. You have the tools in your hand. You have the knowledge. You have courage within you. If this video made you feel even a little bit of discomfort, that's great. It means it got to where it was supposed to. Write in the comments below, which of these 9 tools will you apply this week? Let this be your first step toward a true Adlerian revolution. Thank you for your patience, and I'll see you in the next video.